Of your motions can confidence ring. Yet in all your might and glory, vanished from the sky. Just another story. This means man-made life. It's up how you fell from the sky.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Free American Hour. My guest today is Craig McDonald with Christian Freedom International, serving the persecuted church. Hello, Craig. How are you?
Oh, good morning to you. How are things going in your neck of the woods?
Well, we're doing pretty good. We're eliminating a few criminals here in Arizona. So maybe we can clean up our prison systems a little bit. They just passed medical marijuana in. You may have to mute that. We're getting a feedback from my show. You're in the chat room, so. All right.
Okay, sounds good.
There we go. And
all right, yeah, that sounds great.
Anyway, we passed medical marijuana here, so that eliminates a few criminals here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whoops.
Seems
okay.
like your area is always in the media.
Yeah, hang on a minute. Let me see if I. Okay. Yeah, I had one. We'll try again on another one here. One of my networks dropped off here. Let's see if we can get them back. Alright, great. Okay, we're back on everything. Now, I've been perusing your website, which is christianfreedom.org. And, you know, you've got some things on here I like. Remember those in prison as if they were your fellow prisoners, and those who are mistreated as if you yourself were suffering. From Hebrews 13:13. So your job here, what Christian Freedom International was founded for, was to help Christians who are persecuted for their faith in Jesus.
Absolutely, yep. We are a non-denominational human rights organization who helps out persecuted Christians all over the world.
Is it getting better for Christians or worse, Craig?
You know, I've been asked that question many times, and as things get better in one area, they get worse in another. And we're seeing kind of a trend going on right now as things are kind of, in a small amount, getting better in like Burma, because they quote-unquote had, democratic elections, but of course there's Jerry rigging of the votes and everything, so the military junta is still in power. They released Aung San Suu Kyi, but my guess is she'll probably be assassinated within a year. But I guess if you could say things are getting better there, they're getting worse in other areas of the world. Right now, we're really focused on Pakistan, which is a huge area of persecution for Christians, especially against Muslim extremists. And then recently, we've been focusing some of our attention on Iraq, where a church was basically opened up with gunfire by Islamic militants, and they killed about, I believe, 66 Christians in that church.
Now, let me ask you. Under Saddam Hussein, you know, we've been he was painted as a dictator in our press, but I have a hard time understanding how a dictator, if he was hated by the Iraqi people, how he would stand up on a balcony of one of his palaces waving at a crowd of Iraqis armed with automatic weapons. And in Iraq, weren't under Saddam Hussein, weren't Christians and Jews, wasn't it non-secular? I mean, the Muslims weren't persecuting the Christians under Saddam Hussein. Why is it happening under our reign there?
It's tough to really tell about how things really go on, especially in Iraq. I mean, this is kind of a new area even for us to be looking at now. Our president, Jim Jacobson, he's been focused on Iraq for quite a few years, but it seems that under Saddam's regime that there wasn't as much persecution against Christians, but of course that could also mean it was just not covered as much as it is now since the regime changed. So, it's really kind of hard to tell if there's more or less depending on which regime has taken power. But then again, we're just starting in Iraq, so we're kind of looking into the history and really what's going on there.
Tell me about Pakistan now. Obama, although he was supposed to get us out of Iraq, and he promised us he'd get us out of Afghanistan. Evidently, they discovered that Afghanistan is very rich in natural minerals, and of course our troops are guarding the opium poppy fields there. But we've been doing flyovers and attacking so-called Al-Qaeda people in Pakistan. Have you got what's the latest on the situation in Pakistan? Are we invading Pakistan? Are we bombing Pakistan? Are they attacking Christians in Pakistan? Are they attacking Americans in Pakistan? What's going on?
Well, I know for sure that in Pakistan, Christians are being persecuted like they haven't been before. I mean, it's absolutely, it's the Wild West over there right now. I mean, every day there's reports coming out of Pakistan of more Christians being persecuted for their beliefs. In fact, there's a lady who has just been sentenced to hang for violating quote-unquote blasphemy laws in Pakistan because she was sharing her faith, her Christian faith, with a Muslim co-worker. The Muslim co-worker turned her in, saying that she was conducting blasphemy against Prophet Muhammad. The courts ruled that she must hang for it. So right now in Pakistan, it's just a crazy, crazy area. Our president, Jim Jacobson, was just recently in Pakistan, and you have people, Christians in Pakistan, who cannot get jobs because the majority of the businesses are owned by Muslims and they will not give Christians jobs. So they're very poor. And what happens, in order to feed their family, they must borrow from the Muslim business owners. And to pay off that debt, what happens is they basically become slaves to these business owners working in brickyards, creating bricks. And many of them have to use their entire family with their kids as young as 6 and 5 years old, about 16 hours a day making bricks for many years just to pay off these debts. So what you got going on there is slavery in Pakistan. So it's an absolutely crazy area, and it's an area that people need to really start paying attention to, because this is where we're seeing a lot of the extreme Muslim violence that is happening.
All right, let me ask you about China now. We've heard all of the propaganda about China. Oh, slave labor in China. And there have been reports of Chinese coming down on Christians here, especially home Christians that are worshiping in their home. Is that still happening in China, or since we're supporting them with Walmart, have things changed? Have they lightened up on Christians in Red China?
No, I don't believe so. I believe again, things are being covered over by mainstream media and whatnot. But you can definitely say that there is still persecution happening against the Chinese in China. Whether or not they're working, slave labor or whatnot. And, you're looking at a country that's getting more and more into the exporting business and whatnot. And it's such an odd area. when it comes to Christianity